Hello and welcome to the program which looks at the Holy Land. I am Paul Calvert. Psalm 137 verse 5 from the New King James Bible says this: If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her skill. I'm with Shlomo Tal and we're here at the Western Wall Heritage Foundation Centre. Now Jerusalem Day is coming up very, very shortly. What will the Western Wall Heritage Centre be doing in preparation for 58 years of Jerusalem?
Thank you very much. The Western Wall have always been the center of the Jewish life and prayers and hope for the last 2,000 years since the destruction of the temple. So definitely the day when Jews were able to return back to the Old City, that's a very happy day for us, and especially here by the Western Wall. So the Western Wall, there are going to be lots of different events. The first, the Jewish Day starts from the evening, so we start celebration from the evening. There's going to be an evening prayer. Together with that, we'll set up an Israeli flag 53 meters long. Wow. So it's going to be a huge flag in the middle of the plaza of the Western Wall. And, of course, the prayers with important people over here. Next morning, the morning service. Also, lots of people are going to be coming to pray here and to thank God for us being able to return back home to this place and, to pray here. Then during the day, we have very special broadcast to school students. All the school students in Israel, while they're sitting in their classrooms, they're going to be connected through our broadcast with the songs and celebration and everything what is needed for the kids to get to know a little bit more and to get personally a little bit more connected for this day. And in the afternoon, there's the great event happening in Jerusalem. We call it the March of Dancing Flags. So people from all over Israel are coming to celebrate this day. They start their march from lots of different spots in Jerusalem, all of them having their flags with them and singing and dancing. And by the end, late afternoon, they will come to the Western Wall Plaza to celebrate it over here. So that's what's happening on this special day.
I imagine this is a very exciting day and just a day of celebration and fun and happiness.
Right, it is. It is. You can actually really feel the atmosphere and the happiness and us being able to thank for whatever we got. Especially after waiting for 2,000 years and the dream becoming true. I feel that this celebration is not only for us, for the Jewish people. It's actually the celebration for every person in the world who are desiring to be free, to return back home, to have their hopes to be fulfilled, and hoping for 2,000 years, and then finally it's coming true. It's an inspiration that everyone who has any dream, in the personal case or in the global, national, all the humanity, we can achieve it.
You're starting the day off with prayer. Is that important?
Prayer, the prayer is actually a way of expressing that I can do some certain things as a human being, but there is a power higher than me. That's part of the Jewish belief followed during the whole, 3,500 years of our history since Abraham. So the prayer is any first traditional Jewish holiday will start with a prayer, and the prayer on this specific day is less about asking for something, but more as a thanksgiving for whatever we are privileged to have.
Now, Israel captured Jerusalem in 1967. What was life like before 1967 for the Jewish people?
It's a very important question. So let's say since the destruction of the temple until 1948, this whole land was under different empires who were coming and conquering, and some of them allowed Jews to enter Jerusalem, some of them did not. The Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, they didn't let Jews even to enter Jerusalem. So during different times, as far as it was possible, Jews were coming to stay in Jerusalem, to pray in Jerusalem, and to come to the Western Wall as a place of prayer in the absence of the temple. And then, after the Independence War, the old city stayed under Jordanian rule that captured. So the Jews couldn't actually come to the most holy place, the Temple Mount, the temple, or the Western Wall is a remnant of the temple. So for 19 years, we were yearning, and actually there were lots of ceremonies that were happening around the walls. There is a place, as tradition says, where King David is buried. There is a high rooftop. People were coming up there, and from this rooftop they could see barely the edge of the Temple Mount, and just to imagine that one day they will return and touch the stones of the remnant of the temple, the Western Wall. And after the 6-day war, it was such a surprise and such a miracle that happened. After, once again, 19 years of longing, touching the walls was a great experience. The most mature soldiers, the paratroopers that arrived to the Western Wall, they all teared up. It was very touching.
Yeah, it must have been quite an emotional time, knowing that you couldn't allow to come here. And Israel, actually, they weren't being aggressive. They ended up in a war that they necessarily didn't want. But through that war, they actually won Jerusalem, and now Jews can pray at the Western Wall.
Yeah, definitely. That's the picture. That's the story. We are always trying to hope, not to lose hope. And eventually we see that it works.
Now, you're an Orthodox Jew. How important is it to come down here to pray?
How important, as a person who has lots of different sides of my life. I'm a father, I have my job, I have my body and health, and have my habits and everything. But when we analyze it, we see that the heart is the most important thing. And the heart of the whole nation since the times of Abraham and Isaac, the binding of Isaac that happened here on the Temple Mount. The dream of Jacob's ladder happened here. King David happened here. So it's the heart. So, you need to touch the heart once in a while. And we have these special days like the holidays, and especially Jerusalem Day. When you come and pray here, praying here, it's about the heart.
Do you see it as a miracle from God, 1967, being able to come and pray once again right down here in the heart of Jerusalem, next to where the temple would have stood?
Is the personal question? So definitely I do see it as a miracle from God. If I analyze the whole Jewish history, it's people who were spread to more than 110 countries around the world, keeping up their tradition. They were beaten up in so many different places and persecuted everywhere. And despite everything, we could gather back after 2,000 years, speak the same language, follow the same tradition and faith, and to return to reestablish our state. If it's not a miracle, so what it can be?
I imagine there'll be prayers for the hostages this year as well, because Israel still is in a very difficult position, isn't it?
Definitely, our heart is with our sisters and brothers in captivity. Always have been, but especially recently, we are reminded, that not everything is fixed in this world yet, and some people are looking for their personal freedom also, and definitely there are going to be prayers. We mention them every day in prayers by the Western Wall, and personal prayers all around the world. And here definitely there's going to be a special place for the prayer for the hostages as well.
So the mayor will be here, so it's going to be a really, really joyous celebration, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The mayor of Jerusalem is going to be here. Definitely, that's the day of the city. Something interesting is happening here in the excavations. Since 1967, we started the excavations around the area of the Western Wall, and everywhere we dig, we find the history from the times of the prophets. We found here seals of people their names are mentioned in Tanakh, in the books of prophets, and one of the very special seals that we found is actually, it says, the mayor of Jerusalem. From 2,700 years ago. Wow. In Hebrew. So there was a city mayor, the mayor of the city of Jerusalem 2,700 years ago. And today on Jerusalem Day, our modern city mayor of Jerusalem is going to be joining the celebrations. That's kind of closure.
And there's a lot of archaeology going on today just right next to the Western Wall as well, isn't there?
Right now, yeah, we have several archaeological digs. We are always trying to discover, because for us it's it's like you go and visit your grandma or grandpa and not just reading about them. So that's what we are doing. We are visiting them through the remnants of their history here.
And it proves also that Israel was here 2,000-3,000 years ago.
Yeah, some people like to see it like that. I personally don't need to prove the names of this country, the places, everything what is written in all type of spiritual holy scriptures and secular. It says all it. It's just not reading it. It's not saying about anything about this existence not being existent. So for me, it's less personally as a proof. It's more like a reconnection.
What is your prayer for this day?
My prayer for this day, one of the interpretations of the name of Jerusalem is the connection to peace. Yerushalayim, Shalem, it's whole and it's peaceful. So definitely the prayer this day and every day is for the peace all around the world and the peace inside our hearts and our souls. And, if every person would be able to be content with what they have and really connected to who they are and respecting each other's purpose in this life, so it's hopefully going to be peace around the world. That's my prayer.
Is there something more special praying here than anywhere else in Israel?
Yeah, as I told you, it's the heart. You pray about the heart from the place of the heart. There's a story. Once upon a time, there was a kid who was running away from school. It was somewhere in Eastern Europe. And his father caught him running away from the school, and he asked him, "What are you doing? Why are you running to the forest?" He said, "In the forest I ran to pray to God." And he said, "But what? God exists everywhere. In the city, in the forest, the God is the same." He said, "But in the forest, I am not the same." So when people are coming here and touching the wall and coming to the epicenter of the spirituality of our people, I'm here different. Not only that the prayer is believed to be accepted much better and higher. My heart is opening up, so it's of course it's completely different thing, the prayer here, rather than in any other place in the world.
Well, Shlomo, thank you very much for sharing today.
You're welcome, and I hope that we all will gain this peace and freedom that we hope for from here, from Jerusalem. All the best.
Thank you for joining us today. Pray that God will move by his mighty power in the Holy Land and bring his peace.